How has it been in New Zealand so far?
It's been great. It's been great. As we've just been talking about, the facilities so far have been superb. We've been made to feel very welcome as a touring team always is here. We had a good camp out in Norelia, up in the mountains in Sri Lanka, which is quite close to this climate as well. It gets cold on an evening, but quite nice and warm during the day. So we've had a good build-up, if we're honest.
I did see that actually you guys were training there. I heard you speaking to the guys around the camp that it was fantastic the fact that you're able to replicate it. There was a lot of green grass wickets as well, so you wouldn't mind that as a fast bowler either. Did you get you must have had a run in, surely.
No, I'm all right with a dog stick now. It hurts too much to bowl, I can't do it. But it is, it was great just to, and it was an eye-opener for me as well to actually be in Sri Lanka and see that type of wicket be produced and see the climate we were training in. We were 4,000 feet above sea level, so it was obviously training at altitude, but at the same time to be able to do that in Sri Lanka was pretty phenomenal really, and the ground staff did a great job sort of turning it around from where it was. So again, great build up, obviously coming here, but equally good to be able to do it on our home turf as well, which again gives us an edge when we are travelling abroad.
I have to ask you, you're a former England coach, you're an English guy, you've gone to Sri Lanka. What are the differences in coaching them?
They do listen, they're very keen to learn. They're keen to find out how other people do things and to take on board new ideas, which is great really for me sort of coming in. The biggest problem that you have is the language barrier, and again I'm very lucky that my assistant coach speaks very good English. And all the guys do speak English, and probably better than they give themselves credit for. It's just having the confidence to talk, but I am lucky in the fact that there are enough people there that I can get the message across should I need to. And you try and run the team meetings in both English and Sinhalese as well, so we try and get the coaches to speak to them in Sinhalese to make sure the message is getting across. I just have to speak to the coaches before to make sure it ties up. So big learning curve for me as well, sort of being outside of the environment that I was used to. But again, a great learning curve at the same time, learning different cultures, new way of doing things, different ways of operating in the subcontinent as well. So yeah, it's been a really fun journey so far, to be honest.
Have you said anything in a different language so they can understand, or learned a little bit to know some of the words they may be saying? I don't agree, coach.
Trouble is, my Sinhalese and a Yorkshire accent still doesn't get recognised. No, they're trying to teach me some words, but as you can imagine, I have to be careful what I repeat those words, because as usual, they wind me up. But yeah, you learn little bits along the way. Well done and things like that. So you can try and communicate, but I'm by no way near fluent in the language at all. Like I say, I'm very lucky they do speak English.
I will say though, being an Englishman, you'll be used to the cuisine of curries because it's a very English thing. We know the curries on a Friday night. Have you got used to the spiciness though? I
have actually. I've always enjoyed touring Sri Lanka. It's always been a favourite spot for me, but the food in particular, I do like. It's vibrant, it's colourful, and it's spicy, and it's great. So I was quite lucky that I was going there knowing I would enjoy the food. So yeah, I'm happy with that.
Looking at this team, I guess they haven't played a heap in terms of the World Test Championship. We'll talk about that in a second. But is it difficult as a coach that these guys don't play that much Test cricket around the world?
It is. That's why the camp in Norelia was so important to us, is the fact that this group hasn't been together for so long. The last Test match we played was Pakistan in Galle, and that was a long time ago. There's been a lot of white ball cricket in between. So yes, frustrating in a way, but actually we couldn't keep that success going and the things we were learning and the momentum. But at the same time, to get them back together, you can feel the excitement in the group, especially coming here with what's to play for really. there's a lot of pride at stake, but there's a potential place in the Test final as well, which is great motivation for these guys.
2-0 win against the Black Caps. Australia do you a favour, which I'm sure you won't count much on Australia, but if India get tipped up by Australia or draw, you guys are in that World Test Championship. How important is it for Sri Lanka cricket to be able to actually make a final of that WTC? It
would be huge. Obviously the country has been through a lot recently. We saw the effect that the winning the Asia Cup had on the country, and the success that we enjoyed in the home series prior to that. So I think anything that we can do to help the guys back home smile is a huge thing at the moment. And I know certainly my players feel that, they feel a sense of responsibility and a sense of pride in what they can do for the country.
Talk about some players to watch then. Who are some of the players for the New Zealand public to watch and the world as well?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few in there. Obviously, from a bowling point of view, Kashan Rajifa has been excellent since he got into the team in Bangladesh. I mean, tall, he's got a little bit of pace, but he's got great control. Lahiru Kumara potentially coming back into the side, he's got pace. And then from a batting perspective, you've got all the experience of the captain in there, Angelo Matthews, Chandy, who had a great series against Australia and scored loads of runs. And Kusal Mendes. We've got players in there that are all exciting in their own right.
It's rocketed away. And that'll be 50 for Mendes.
And then you've got Dick Weller as well that can play all the fancy shots and potentially take the game away from people. So the squad that we've got, they're hard-working, get stuck in and give it on their day, they can make a difference.
As a wicketkeeper myself, I'm encouraged about the chat that comes behind the stumps as well. Is that something that just comes naturally?
Well, I think it does to Dick Weller, yes. I think he's great. He's a little bit different, but I think we need to embrace that. I quite like the fact that he's a bit different.
I want to know how you guys are going to win these 2 test matches, because we know it's a must-win for you. I won't tell anybody else, you can just tell me.
We need our bowlers to bowl in good areas and obviously make sure that they're attacking and taking wickets for us, and equally just need the batsmen to put runs on the board for us, first and second innings. We need somebody to put their hand up and be counted, and we know if we do that, if we can get runs on the board, we can bowl and obviously attack and push for those wickets. But I think the key is to make sure we get some runs on the board, and then as a bowling unit we operate as a unit. I mean, we've seen how obviously the New Zealand team have operated here. We've watched the videos, we've seen how when they're at the best they operate as a team, as a group, and as a bowling unit we operate as a pack. So can we replicate that and make sure that we can take them on at their own game here? We have the skills within the dressing room, we have a variation in our attacks. We've just got to deliver on the day now, and that's the exciting thing for us. You know, I mean, we've said that, you know, I mean, the potential of a Test final is there. We have to respect that we've got a very good team in front of us who have got a great record at home over a long period of time. So we are going to have to be on our best. You know, I mean, we're going to have to be at the top of our game. But at the same time, it's really exciting for us to be in that position to think, well, actually, if the results go well for us in one area and we play well here, we can actually push for that. So, as I said earlier, the motivation is there for these guys.
It's going to be the challenge to keep the nerves and the calmness in the change room if things go to that point where it could go one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to getting to that point. It'd be great if we get there. We can push that. But I mean, these guys have all, we've got some people there that played a lot of cricket now. So, you know, I mean, they'll know how to keep the nerves in check. And we'll just keep everything calm, do what we normally do, follow the routines, and you know, I mean, nothing changes really. And I think as long as you've got consistency in a dressing room, you can try and keep the nerves under check. Then I always find when you start doing different things, people go, "Why are you doing that?" And then the nerves start jingling a little bit. So we'll keep a lid on it in there, and hopefully the players can go out and perform.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, and I think there could be a bit of entertainment over the next couple of weeks, at least in the red ball form. And there's some curries down the road, so we'll be able to show you later on, maybe at the end of the test match.
Fantastic.
Hey, all the very best.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers.